Coming up on Network Africa. Children rescued as Zimbabwean police unearth Sect grave arresting a suspected leader of a religious cult. South Africa collapses deal to sell a stake in its national airline after failing to agree on a value and other terms with private investors. Plus, Nigerian Navy signs agreement with Benin Republic Navy for maintenance and repairs of patrol boats. Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Layo Olarinde. We begin in Zimbabwe, where police have arrested the suspected leader of a religious sect in a village in northern Mashonda Land, West Province. 56-year-old Ishmael Choguronge, who leads the sect, was arrested alongside 7 other senior members of the cult. Police spokesperson Paul Nyati also said dozens of women and children were rescued. Most of the 251 children, according to the police, were found in his farm in Nyabira, about 34 kilometers northwest of the capital, Harare. They had no birth certificates and were not allowed to attend school. Police also discovered a grave site at the farm where 16 people are said to have been secretly interred, including 7 infants whose burials were not registered with authorities. Well, let's get more on this. Joining us now is Zimbabwean journalist Nigel Yamutumbu for more details. Hello, Nigel. Thank you so much for your time. What more can you tell us about this discovery?
In what has been termed a spectacular raid by the Zimbabwe police force at a religious shrine in Mashonaland West, some 30 or so kilometers outside west of the capital, Harare, Zimbabwe police have been recovering and has been rescuing a number of women and children that were held captive at this shrine by one Madzibaba, which is euphemism for religious father Ishmael Chokurongerwa, who in his religious cult
Now, this suspected leader has been arrested, and he's been arrested, but we are not sure of the charges and what are the consequences he's likely to face.
Yes, there has been a litany of criminal charges that have been put before him as the religious leader, and indeed with his fellow leaders that he worked with in his sort of council that he operated with. And part of these criminal charges include abuse of children. And that charge on its own does carry some harsh sentences, prison sentences, and depending on the nature of those that are going to come forth, the charges could also vary to I would imagine even culpable homicide, given these discoveries of unidentified and unsanctioned graves, unidentified bodies and unsanctioned graves at the site. So it's I think is really in it in terms of what the gravity of the charges that he faces, and you are looking here at a long jail term.
And also for the women and children that have been rescued, they I assume, are in devastating condition. How are they faring, and what do we know of the state of their well-being?
In carrying out the raids, the police had the social services as part of the team and part of the crew that was rescuing these women and children. And obviously, in an era where they would not have any mobile phones, in an era where they would not even be connected to the outside world, you would imagine that insofar as their processing of what is obtaining would need proper psychological support. And this is where the social services is also going to be stepping in. I think you would get a sense that they had normalized the abnormal. And you now need to also really deal with pragmatic impacts and effects of this abuse. In one of the interviews, for example, some of the leaders or some of those that belong to the cult have been saying that, well, they are not aware of what women's rights are and what children's rights are, and we're actually of the belief that their religious sect in closing them out of the society was justified and all. So that would also then require a lot of work in terms of dealing with the entrenchment of that cultism in them, and to really deal with having them enjoying their full universal and indeed constitutionally guaranteed.
Shocking details there, Nigel, but we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much, Zimbabwean journalist Nigel Yamutumbu. We're still in southern Africa. South Africa's government has terminated a deal to sell its flag carrier, South African Airways SAA, after failing to agree on a fair value for the airline. Public Enterprises Minister Pravin Gordhan says after 3 years of negotiations, the deal had been called off as there is no clear path forward. Mr. Gordhan also cited the impact of the post-COVID-19 market as a significant factor in the decision, leading to a revaluation of SAA's worth. The government was in talks to sell SAA to the Takatso Group, which is made up of closely held Global Airways and private equity firm Harith General Partners. Takatso acquired a controlling stake in SAA in June 2021, with the consortium set to own 51% of SAA, while the government would own the remaining 49%. In a statement, the Takatso consortium said the changes in the deal to buy SAA would have taken too long to achieve. SAA will now revert to being fully state-owned but the government says the airline is open to entering into other partnerships.
So late last week, which is what we put before Cabinet today, there was agreement that in terms of a clause in the previous or the old sale and purchase agreement, where by mutual consent this transaction could be terminated. That clause was put into action, and both parties have agreed, after we inquired about the status of the negotiations, that there was no clear path forward as far as the transaction with Takatso is concerned.
The idea is that you could, through business rescue, through better management, through better use of the resources, turn it back into a profitable business, and so it could bring in future income, which is what makes it valuable. However, the plan there wasn't disclosed by the private purchasing company. In other words, for years, this thing is dragged out with no details about how it's supposed to work. And the primary blame does fall on the minister in charge, Pravin Gordhan, who has now announced his retirement, almost at the same time as announcing that the deal is off. What's going to happen going forward is very unclear. SAA's assets, its its airplanes, its hangar space have languished, and it's hard to know how the matter can resolve itself.
In the meantime, South Africa's Foreign Minister Naledi Pandor says its citizens who have been fighting in Gaza with the Israeli Defense Forces IDF will be arrested on their return to the country. She's quoted as telling a Palestinian solidarity event earlier this week that a statement has been issued alerting those who are South African and are fighting to be ready for arrest when they return home. It's not clear how many people this could affect. South Africa had already warned last year that its citizens may be liable to prosecution if they fought with the IDF. South Africa has been at the forefront of the diplomatic opposition to Israel's war in Gaza. It launched a case at the International Court of Justice to consider whether Israel is committing genocide against Palestinians in Gaza. Kenya's President William Ruto says the planned deployment of police officers to Haiti will go ahead as soon as the Caribbean country puts in place a transitional presidential council. Authorities had earlier this week put the planned deployment on hold following the announcement that Haiti's Prime Minister Ariel Henry would be stepping down. However, Haitian media reports that the creation of the council could take time as it is facing opposition from some political parties. The council will be tasked with appointing an interim prime minister and council of ministers to lead Haiti until the country holds elections. The new administration is also expected to work with the Kenyan-led international police force to combat gang violence in the country. President Ruto says he had assured U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken that Kenya will take leadership of the UN Security Support Mission in Haiti to restore peace and security as soon as the Presidential Council in Haiti is in place under an agreed process. The quest for regional maritime integration takes a leap forward as the Nigerian Navy signs an agreement with Benin Republic Navy for the maintenance and repairs of 6 of their patrol boats. This is the first of its kind by both nations, approved by the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala. The Admiral Superintendent of the Naval Dockyard, Rear Admiral Abolaji Oredero, says the bold step would place the Naval Dockyard as a significant player in shipbuilding and repairs. Our correspondent, Chris Illems, reports.
The plan has been in the works between the navies of Nigeria and Benin to forge a more strategic partnership. And here they signed an agreement for the Nigerian Navy to maintain 6 of Benin patrol boats at the Naval Dockyard. The Naval Dockyard has played very significant role in shipbuilding and maintenance, but this new assignment lends credence to its capabilities and growth over the years. The opportunities here are numerous, as the country is now open to more business activities and also intensify its quest to keep protecting the Gulf of Guinea.
J'ai dit tout à l'heure dans mon intervention que c'est une première.
I have said earlier that it was one of its kind.
Et donc c'est parce que nous espérons que ce contrat que nous venons de signer, lorsque les objectifs seront atteints, ça va vraiment profiter la marine nationale béninoise et par surcroît, ça va impacter le développement de l'économie bleue de notre pays.
This project, if conducted rightfully to the end, that will impact Benin Navy. It also impact the blue economy, maritime economy. Yes.
The import of this agreement, according to the Admiral Superintendent, is huge and historic, considering the impact on the bilateral relationship between both countries.
It is a very important occasion because this talks about regional cooperation among navies of the region. It talks about enhancing operational efficiency among the navies of the region, and it also talks about enhancing friendship, cooperation among the navies of the region. Some of the ships will go to Nigeria on their own steam, as in they will sail to Nigeria, and some will have to be brought to Nigeria by some other means. and then all the repairs will take place in the naval dockyard. All this we have been able to achieve because of the support, the encouragement, and the dynamic leadership of the Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ikechukwu Ogala Admiralty Medal.
While Benin Republic will no longer have to travel out of the continent to maintain its naval fleets, this will provide the chance for its Nigerian counterpart to broaden and hone their shipbuilding and maintenance skills, as well as improve on capacity. Chris Ilems, Channels Television News.
Welcome back to the program. Liberian citizens have observed the 10th anniversary of the 2014 Ebola epidemic that ravaged the country, known as the National Decoration Day. This day is set aside for Liberians to gather at various cemeteries to commemorate their departed relatives. This year's observance brought relatives to Disco Hill's safe burial site in Malgibi County to mourn the victims of Ebola. The healthcare coordinator at the National Public Health Institute of Liberia says about 4,500 bodies of victims and the ashes of those who were cremated are placed at this site. A total of 4,810 persons died in Liberia when the virus hit, and this is according to the Centers for Disease Control. Liberia became the third country to report that the Ebola virus disease had spread into the country from neighboring Guinea. There was a sharp increase in cases in Monrovia, Liberia's capital city. And before December 2014, Liberia was one of the countries that was affected the most by the virus. Authorities in Uganda's capital, Kampala, say the city is experiencing an outbreak of conjunctivitis, a highly contagious eye infection. The Kampala Capital City Authority says the cases of the disease have also been reported in schools in the city. So it is asking schools to take preventative measures such as screening visitors, asking learners to stop rubbing their eyes, and urging them to frequently wash their hands with soap. Uganda is the latest African country to record cases of this disease this year. An outbreak of viral conjunctivitis was reported in Tanzania in mid-January, and over 5,000 cases have been recorded across more than 17 regions. Kenya, Malawi, Mozambique, Comoros, Madagascar, and Mayotte have also recorded cases, while Rwanda issued an alert last month. Well, here in Nigeria, the Lagos state government has asked residents to visit any general hospital close to them and get their eyes properly checked. The special advisor on health, Dr. Kemi Ogunyemi, made this comment during an awareness walk to commemorate the 2024 World Glaucoma Week. Dr. Ogunyemi says over 650,000 residents have benefited from the Lagos State Eye Intervention Program and is appealing to the people to take advantage of the ongoing free eye screening provided by the state government.
Senior officials of the Lagos State Ministry of Health are out on an awareness drive on blindness prevention. The World Glaucoma Week provides the opportunity to enlighten the people on eye conditions that damage the optic nerve as a result of increased pressure on the eye. The team moves around Alausa Secretariat, encouraging state civil servants to carry out routine checks on their eye.
If you are staying in your working place, if your eyes is blind, you might not find it easy. Please and please come to Alausa and come and check your eyes.
Everybody must be sighted, and we can all unite to fight this menace.
The awareness exercise continues outside the Secretariat as participants distribute flyers to motorists plying Alausa Ikeja Road.
This week is World Glaucoma Week. We'll be screening you free of charge. If you need medications, we will give you medications. If you need reading glasses, we will give you reading glasses instantly. And if you need surgery, we will refer you to one of our government hospitals.
Everybody cherishes their site.
According to the Special Advisor on Health, Dr. Kemi Oguyemi, 11 general hospitals have been equipped to manage cataract, glaucoma, and other common eye conditions affecting people in Lagos State.
So when we say prevention is better than cure, what we're trying to say with glaucoma is that this disease exists. Some people don't even know about it, and the only way you're going to know about it is if you go and have your eyes checked. So especially if you're diabetic, if you do have a history of it in the family, it's also worth having your eyes checked as well. It doesn't mean you'll get it. However, you're more predisposed, you're more at risk of getting it compared to somebody who doesn't have a history of it in the family. We have opticians everywhere, we have ophthalmologists everywhere. It's so easy. And then Lagos State is even giving free eyeglasses. So we're going to have like a massive outreach. We're going to have eye tests done. It's free. We're not even asking anybody to pay for anything, so that you wear your glasses as prescribed.
The 2024 World Glaucoma Week echoes the need for citizens to unite for a glaucoma-free world. Regular eye checks are a priority for early detection and treatment to prevent this sight-stealing disease.
Ethiopian priests are trying their best to preserve their history by recreating ancient religious manuscripts. They do this by writing the ancient passages with bamboo ink pens and copying sacred artwork set to date back hundreds of years.
Ethiopian Orthodox priests and worshippers are working tirelessly to copy ancient texts from religious books written by the Ge'ez language onto goatskin parchments. Volunteers at the Nigeria-Benin Institute in Addis Ababa are transcribing the ancient passages with bamboo ink pens and replicating sacred artwork set to date back hundreds of years. Fakade Bisho, an Ethiopian Orthodox priest who's been working on the book since 1986, says transcribing the ancient texts is his life's work.
I led my life by writing. I wrote many spiritual books, like about St. Mary, many spiritual essays about St. Michael, and so on. Whatever our spiritual leaders ask me, I will write. My life is writing. 4 years ago, I joined the Nigeria-Benin Institute to write.
Ishimabet Sise, who is in charge of communications at the Nigeria-Benin, says the institute has 61 people working for it. She also stressed the importance of passing on ancient knowledge to future generations.
The name of our organization is Nigeria-Benin Institute. It's 5 years old. Our company has over 61 workers. We do various parchment works, ancient books, ancestors, phrase paintings, church facility workings, from mines and wooden paintings. At some point, the works done by our fathers were lost and forgotten, but now are continued by their children. We need to continue handing it over to the next generations. That's why we have started training and opened this institute for the next generation.
The process of creating fresh goatskin parchments is a long and arduous one. The skins are immersed in water for up to 4 days and then stretched, cleaned, and left to dry in the sun. Once dry, the skins are then stripped off the hair and cut into pages. Smaller books can take up to 2 months to complete, while larger manuscripts can take as many as 2 years to prepare. The books are eventually donated to be used in monasteries and churches.
And that's it on the program today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Layo Olarinde. Have a lovely day.